Hello, I'm Sean from Boston, Massachusetts, originally from Seattle, Washington, and I recently came across the You've Got This campaign on Facebook, and so I thought I might share my story. I've been living with the HIV virus for about 2.5 years now. I was diagnosed in January of 2011, and having recently completed a degree in theology and sort of having assumed the garment of a theologian, I thought I might share my story from that perspective. I was diagnosed with HIV in January 2011, but went through my seroconversion about 3.5 weeks prior to my diagnosis in December of 2010, right on the heels of World AIDS Day of that year. And the evening, right in the middle of it, when I felt the most sort of tired and flu-like, I had to go off and conduct a recital with one of my choirs at school, and one of the pieces we were going to work through was Maurice Dureve's setting of Ubi Caritas, a wonderful Maundy Thursday hymn about the power of charity and community and sort of God's solidarity with those who are stigmatized. And I didn't know it at the time, right when I was sort of working with these singers, right on stage, working through a text that I had sung for many, many, many years, that this text, this particular motet, this particular setting, would soon become an oral signifier for me of my conversion and eventual diagnosis with HIV some 3.5 weeks later. As an Episcopalian and as a member of a Eucharistic body, I've always really known the sort of power that is often signified by blood. But in this instance, it came to signify something much more multivalent. Because it was in me. This was something that was in me. And I didn't really know that, at the time I would become part of a almost 3 decades long story, connected to a community of those living and those dead, or in a theological context, it's sort of an eschatological body. And so it was during the week right after my diagnosis, I went to a service at my then home church, the Cathedral of St. John the Divine, where I was openly welcomed as a gay man. And the priest at that service gave a sermon concerning matters of epiphany, which is a season of change, a season of realization. Sort of uncanny how that ended up working out. And after the sermon, I went up to the priest, because it had really resonated with me, and I said to him, Thank you. I've recently been diagnosed with HIV. And the priest took my hands and looked me in the eye and said, We live now. We live now. For this is when God comes to us. And so it was in that moment that everything, my whole perspective on the matter changed. And I realized that it was within our woundedness, whether it's culturally inflicted, self-inflicted, or the product of, in this case, an unjust stigma, that God visits us, or the divine, or the universe, whatever one wants to call it. That this entity, that is in some ways larger than us, visits us and tells us it's okay. And so I'm here to tell you, you've got this. And you have it. And you can control it. Take care of yourself, listen to your doctor, take your medicine. You've got this. Now we live.